recording.
Hey, it's Scott and Robin from Travel Buddies. If you haven't subscribed to our website yet, please do. We're trying to get as many subscribers as we can and share our videos with your friends would really be appreciated. We're here in Moab, Utah, which is absolutely incredible. As you can see in the background, the mountains are just unbelievable, but this is nothing. When you drive around and see this area, it is beyond breathtaking, and you could take a million pictures, but until you see it in person, you can't even imagine it. We're going to cover two areas today. One is Moab itself, from food and beverage and things to do, and then also we're going to talk about taking adventures out into the canyons and climbing the hills and the rocks and everything. So Robin, if you want to start us off, let's talk about the food and beverage here, specifically those restaurants and stuff that we found on Main Street.
Yeah, there's a little area for trucks that have food trucks in it, so you can get just about anything you want. They've got Greek food, pastas, pizzas, chicken,
ice cream,
a lot of and gelato. Anything you want, they have it right there. You can either stay there and eat, and they have like a huge tarp tent with sprayers all around with picnic tables, so you can just eat there, which is nice because when it's in the afternoon, when it's hot, you don't want to be in the sun at all when eating. So, and then downtown on Main Street, there's several good restaurants. They're, mostly burgers and pizzas and pastas and stuff like that. There's just a few fine dining that I would recommend, and that Sunset Grill, which is on top of the mountain across from our campsite here, which has a view to die for all over the city down there. And then there's one that we weren't able to get into. It's called Desert Bistro. Make sure you make reservations. I couldn't even beg them into letting us in last night. They didn't have enough room. So other than that, that's most of the restaurants around here that I'd say just try.
Yeah, and if you're not going out to restaurants or you're not going out every night, there is one grocery here called City Market, which is part of which is part of the Kroger chain. So they have everything, including a pharmacy. They sell beer. They have a nice deli, bakery, really nice store. So check out City Market if you're needing groceries.
Yeah. Now, as far as our adventures go, it has been an adventure. We rented a Jeep from Twisted Jeep. Shout out to Twisted Jeep. We got a big Rubicon that was air conditioned, and it was a newer model, and it was raised and everything, which you're going to need. Don't take your personal vehicles, which we saw several people trying on some of these mountains, because even on the easiest trails that you can go on, they can get pretty rough, and you need a four-wheel drive, no doubt. But still, don't try to take your little Jeep Wagoneer or something like that on it, because you're going to find yourself in a predicament you don't want to be in.
And a lot of us tow pickup trucks and stuff behind our rigs. Pickup trucks will work. When Robin says rent a Jeep, do it. The best part about it is it's enclosed and it's air conditioning. Yes. So the one, as she said, from Twisted Sister, right?
Twisted Jeep.
Twisted Jeep. Twisted Sister's a band, I guess. We highly recommend them. The Jeep was clean. It was nice. It was new. We really do recommend them because the terrain, and when I mean it's times like this and like this, I'm not exaggerating
and it's very uneven too.
Yeah. One of the things I learned, Robin, about being out in the rocks and in the canyons is this is one of the most important things that you'll travel with the entire time you're here in Moab. Make sure you take plenty of water. Even though a trail may be only 5 miles long, it may take an hour in the Jeep to cover that trail because you're literally moving in single digits miles per hour just because of the terrain. So lots of water, take food, and by the way, your phone rarely works out in those canyons. Get a map, study the map. And one of the tricks that we learned, and we always like to leave you with a tip every time we do one of these is get a map not only of where are you going, but where does it end. There are two major roads that you want to end with, and one of them is Highway 191.
Or 279.
Or 279. And you always want to come out, either begin on one and come out on the other, but know your entrance and your exit on these routes. up in the canyons and in the hills and stuff. That's very, very important because sometimes you can actually go 5 miles in, which could take more than an hour, and it's really just a turnaround, and then you have to come all the way back, and that can make for a little long day.
And another thing you can do, if you don't want to rent a Jeep, they are quite expensive. You can always rent like a Razor, a side-by-side.
Yeah.
It's all open air though, so be ready to eat some dust. I would say have a mask and everything. They do offer you goggles. We did it last year. I had a blast. My husband doesn't like it because he didn't like all the dust. But it's a lot more fun. They seem to handle the terrain a lot easier than these Jeeps do because they are built for that. So it's all personal preference. Just go out there and look and see what you want.
And don't let the terrain scare you. If you don't want to rent a Jeep and you don't want to rent a Razor, there are plenty of escorted tours where they'll actually take you out there. They have special vehicles that they can actually take your group or just the two of you, whatever you decide. They will take you out there and you don't have to worry about any of the driving. And more importantly is they know those routes inside and out. So yeah, it is expensive. It could be several $100s a day or several $100 a person per day. But I will tell you, it is well worth it, regardless of which mode of transportation or however you decide to see it. Robin, I guess my favorite place that we went to was the Arches. You want to tell them a little bit about being at the Arches?
Well, the Arches is a national park. Now, most national parks, you can just get right in. You can drive up and get in. On this particular national park, the Arches, you have to have a specific time and a ticket in order to do it. The tickets are $2, and you have to go online. I would suggest you go online the day before and set up, and then they'll email you when they have opportunities, and then you go in and you see what time you want to go. You click on that on the site there that they email you at, pick the time you want to go, pay your $2, and then it'll have like a QR code, so when you get up to the gate, they'll scan the gate, but that's only just a portion of the payment. If you've got a national park pass, that works. Even if you've got a veterans park pass, perfect. You don't have to pay anything. And I believe it's like $30 in order to get into it. I don't know. I've got an old person I'm married to, so we get to use his.
And we got a military
pass.
Yeah.
But make sure you carry lots of water when you go into that park. Some of these trails that they take you on that lead off to, like we got into Devil's Garden, and Ron and I kind of went off on our own, and we were dumb. We didn't take any water. He didn't have a hat, and there was 3 different trails, and of course we tried to hit all of them. I backed out on the last quarter of a mile and said, I'm done. I give up. I'm going back. And then we kind of lost Ron again. So
notice she said again. We'll address that again.
Yeah.
Later on.
We're going to put either a cowbell on him or an air tag
tether,
or something.
A rope.
So that we can keep up with him, because he goes off on his own, and then we have to worry about him or look for him. So, but it's all fun. That's what you get when you got a lot of people with you. I don't say a lot, it's just 4 of us. But
one thing I liked about the Arches National Park is they actually have restrooms available. They have water fountains to refill water bottles, and all of the roads inside the Arches National Park are paved.
Yes.
You're never going to be on rocks and dirt and sand and stuff. They're paved. They're very well maintained. The park was, even though they were sold out, it was not crowded. We did have to search a little bit for a picnic table because we do like to stop and have a picnic regardless of where we are. Now, when you're off-roading in like the Dead Horse Canyon and all those areas over there that are outside the national park, there are no picnic tables. You're on your own as far as restroom, and you all can figure that out.
Now, we did find a Dead Horse.
Oh, that's true.
Dead Horse is a state park. I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
It's got some great views, and there's a story behind why it's called Dead Horse. I won't go into it. You can read up on it, but it's kind of sad. But that's the reason why they've named it Dead Horse Park. But the views are with the Colorado River along there.
Incredible.
It's just unbelievable.
And they also, if you remember, we were up on that one viewing area in the potash fields. There's potash in the soil. There's companies that come and pump it up with water. And so you have these huge, I mean, football field long evaporation pools. And to be up as high as we were, to look down and see the evaporation pools, they actually dye the water blue. And that's just
like
their
a
way.
Caribbean blue.
Yeah. And that's their way of determining how far they are in the evaporation project. But Dead Horse is amazing.
Yep.
The views are, and once again, paved roads in that part, it's that state park as well. So we've had a great trip. One of the things that we have that we'll share with you as far as a tip, avoid this time of year. It's now the end of May, and it is beyond hot here. Right now it's probably already 90 something, and it's not even 11 o'clock in the morning.
It's gonna get up in the hundreds.
Yeah, so if you're going to do like what we did, one is don't make long days. Do 3 or 4 hours, max out. Take lots of cold beverages with you, and if you can come earlier in the year, I would think March, April, you're going to enjoy much cooler weather, and it'll be much more enjoyable. I will tell you that by 1 or 2 o'clock, it is so darn hot, you don't even want to be out in it. And that was one of the reasons why we selected the all-enclosed Jeep with air conditioning.
Yeah.
So,
and where we're staying, it's called Village Camp Moab. Now, last year it was called
Portal, right?
Portal,
Yeah.
Portal Village or something like that. And I guess they got bought out. But it's as you can see, I mean, we're in like full in for Class A's. We've got the water fountain with the mountains that we look at every morning. And the mornings are great out here. But it's a great resort where you can get access to everything from the restaurants downtown to some of the arches are like 2.5 miles away.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, if you're a biker, they have the most awesome bike trails around here. If you're an avid biker and do like mountains and stuff, then this place is for you. I personally like my electric bike when I'm on here because these trails, even though they're paved, they go up and down these hills, these mountains, but you just can't beat them. I mean, they're like 5 feet wide, and they've got yellow lines for the people coming and going, and they go all the way. Well, I've never gone all the way, but they've got 2 little areas that you can go off on, and they're just breathtaking. But take your water.
Yes. One other thing here about the Village Camp RV Resort, it is off the road. I-91 is right here. Is the main road. It goes all the way through town. It will be the central road, the main road that you will use the entire time you're here. We are off the road as far as the resort. I would say several football fields. And the highway's right there. It is as quiet as you can imagine. We don't hear any sound from the road whatsoever. There are 2 swimming pools. Where we're parked here, we both have Class A's, big rigs. We have plenty of paved sites to park on. We actually have parking area for the Jeeps because you keep those usually for a day or 2. So there's plenty of parking. So we highly recommend this Victory Camp Resort. Village, thank you.
Camp.
Village, yes.
And they have a little walk trail around the lake so you can walk your dog. They got 2 dog parks. The pools were ice cold.
Yeah.
I couldn't get in them.
Yeah.
They were just too, I guess they're just waiting for the summer to warm them up, but they don't have any heaters on them. So,
Well, they're cold.
Yeah.
But on a day like that, maybe it does feel good. They also have very small houses for you to rent, which are very nice. They're directly across from us right now. Looks really nice. I don't know how many bedrooms they are, but if you're traveling in a small camper or whatever, you need more space, that may be something to consider to add on, or just show up here and make sure you make a reservation.
Early, yeah.
Book a reservation, and you can rent these if you're just driving your car or your pickup truck.
Yeah. Now they do have a Sun Outdoors. They've got 2 Sun Outdoors and a KOA here. We really haven't looked at them. The Sun Outdoors, one of them is right next to us. They seem like they're somewhat crowded, but I'm sure they're not as costly as the Village Camp.
Yeah.
But, either way, you need to check out Moab. This is our 2nd year in a row that we've been here, and you just can't beat it.
Yes.
But we will be coming earlier next time.
Absolutely.
And that's their peak season, too. I think right before Memorial Weekend is when their peak season dies. But I can see why, because it's steaming.
So we're going to wrap this video up. We're getting ready to pack up. We're headed to Deer Creek State Park, which is outside of Provo. So we've got about a 3.5 hour, maybe 4 hours. We never rush, because when you're doing this and you're looking at views and stuff, we take our time, especially on the hills and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're going to be heading north, and the next time we come to you, we'll be just north of Provo, from Deer Creek State Park. So Robin, thanks for everything. You did a great job. Robin planned this whole trip. I will tell you, the key takeaway right now is, if you're coming to Moab, plan as early in advance as you can, because it's not a large place and you want to get the best of the best. So Moab is fantastic. So thank you, Robin, for all your hard work.
Rent your Jeep ahead of time too.
Yes.
I don't know if you're going to rent. I do know that the only place that I know of, but there's several, I'm sure, is Twisted Jeep. But we've had a good experience with them last year, so that's why we rented again this year. But we made our reservations months in advance. And you can do whitewater rafting. They also have boat tours down the Colorado River. We didn't get to do that.
And canoeing. Yeah.
Yeah. And base jumping, if that's your thing.
No.
Rock
Not like
rappelling.
that. No. No.
Scott's afraid of heights. So
No. Oh, no.
It was a no.
Yeah.
Vaughn and I wanted to do it though.
Sure. Alrighty, guys. Thanks for watching, and share our video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, we would sure appreciate you hitting the subscription button.
We got more sites to show you.
Oh yeah. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.